Okay, let's do problem 1029 together. We're calculating common stock value under different market conditions. Ecology Labs will pay a dividend of $6.40 per share in the next 12 months. The required rate of return is 14%, and the constant growth rate is 5%. So the first thing we need to do is go find some formulas. You can find these formulas on pages 312 through 313, and specifically we're looking for the valuation formula for common stock, and that formula is the price of common stock today equals current dividend divided by the required rate of return on common stock for this company, K sub E, minus the expected growth rate, G. Okay? So as long as we have that formula, we should be able to calculate virtually any one of these examples. So let's go ahead and compute the current price of the stock today under the first scenario, P sub 0. Alright, so according to this, Ecology Labs will pay a dividend of $6.40 per share, so that's D1, divided by the expected or required rate of return is 14%, 0.14, minus the constant growth rate, which is 5%, 0.05. And that equals 6.40 divided by 0.09, and if you do the math on that with your calculator, the current price of the stock is $71.11. Okay, current price of the stock. Now let's see what happens here. Assume our expected or required rate of return goes up to 18%. What will be the new price? All right, so now we're increasing to 18%. K sub E goes up to 18%. What happens to the price of the stock? Our dividend stays the same. However, our expected rate of required rate of return for the stock goes up. Growth rate stays the same. You can see what's going to happen here, right? We're going to divide our dividend by a now larger number, 0.13, and the price of the stock, 49.23, drops quite a bit. So when the required rate of return on this company's stock goes up, we see a drop in the stock price. Okay, now let's see what happens under C. Assume the growth rate goes up to 9%. What will be the new value of P sub 0? E, or the required rate of return, goes back to its original value, 14%. So K sub E is back down to 14%, but the growth rate, G, goes up to 9%. What ends up happening to our share price? $6.40. The dividend hasn't changed. Our required rate of return is the same. However, this time our expected growth rate increases to 9%. What happens to our stock price? Now we're dividing 640 by a smaller number, and you can imagine what's going to happen. Our investors are excited about its growth prospects, and the stock goes up in value. It's now $128 per share. All right, thanks to the expected growth rate going up so much. Okay, so we put a higher value or a premium on this stock because of its growth opportunities. Now assume our dividend, okay, in the next one is $6. What will be, and we're going to put K sub E at its original value of 14% and G at 5%. So now we're paying dividends, a higher dividend rate. That goes up to $7. What's going to happen to our stock? So our dividend goes up to $7. Our original expected or required rate of return goes to 14% again, and our expected growth rate is 5%. Right? $7 divided by 0.09. And you can see that our stock price is going to go up slightly, right? In comparison to its original calculation. So we increased the dividend slightly, and therefore the value of the stock went up slightly. You can see that the value of the stock goes up dramatically when the expected growth rate goes up dramatically, and you see that in the stock market when investors believe that the growth of a company is higher than what would be normal. That drives stock value. That makes sense.